What's up, Salt Strong Nation? Joe Simons, like diamonds. Hope you can hear some drag screaming. Lukey, my bro, is on the fish. You might hear the wind blowing too because it is howling today, which is going to be the entire topic here. What do we got? Please say it's not a catfish. No, it's not. Look. We got a new species here, guys.
A new species
Luke
today.
has been on fire with the catfish. So here's what we're doing. It's blowing. What do we got? 25-mile-an-hour winds or so?
Yeah, it's pushing hard out of the northeast. We're down here today filming with the boys from Salt Strong here in downtown Alamorada. And this morning segment is all about the SWS.
What's SWS?
The sucky weather syndrome. You're down here with a dad, you got your kids, you bring your boat, you're on vacation, you want to fish, you get to your destination and
we're
weather
on a flat right now.
kicks
you
you
guys
right
are
in the butt.
Watching, and there's white caps here.
Exactly right. So we're not far from downtown Alamorada. We're on the edge of a flat, power pole down, block of chum out, the old chum dinger, and we're just sitting here having a good time, playing a little tunes, getting some bites, and we're just seeing what we can catch. So right here, Luke just caught himself a blue runner, which in this size actually is an amazing sailfish bait, which another 2 months from now will be a big deal. And we're just fishing really simple, guys. Just a little shrimp on a hook, split shot, block of chum, middle of town, getting it done. Tunes on, adult beverage, tops up, having some fun. It sure beats sitting on land asking yourself why it's windy on your vacation. Luke,
That thing inhaled it.
he did. He ate that shrimp, but
Mark's
we'll
gonna
get
do
that
a little
right
surgery
out.
there.
Yep. I'm not really a doctor, but I played one on TV, and we'll let him go just like that, catch and release. So again, today we caught a bonefish this morning. We've caught some catfish. We caught a handful of sharks, and we haven't left eyesight of town. And we're just out here making the best of it, having some fun. And you'll see how simple this can be. Just a live shrimp.
Let's talk about how we're rigging it here.
Little bait saver hook. All right, light leader, light spinning rod. Just like we were bone fishing, we thread it up around the hook. Okay, get as much shrimp as you can on the shank of that hook. All right, that lets a little nibble fish out here, the pinfish, whatever's biting. Luke's had a couple lane snappers earlier. Little split shot. Give the little chum dinger a little shake. You can see the chum dinger block of chums in there. Couple shakes, gets a little bit of the flakes out. You drop this right in the chum slick and let it run right down. It's a very simple fishery, very user-friendly for kids, for friends, for people who don't fish, but you're dying to get out in your boat. You're pinned down because of the weather. Don't let the weather get you down. Get out here, make it fun, and get after it. It's what we do.
You don't even have to cast.
You don't even have to cast, which is good for Luke.
Now.
Let's see if we can catch him another one.
Let's talk about the wind versus the current here.
Yeah, so where we are sitting here, we have the wind blowing one way and a lot of it, and we have the tide actually going the other way, the last little bit of the incoming tide. So basically the tide's into the wind. So what that's doing for the boat is it's making it sit just about perpendicular. So the tide and the wind are pushing against each other, and so the boat's gonna go with the heavier force. Now this boat has a top, this boat's 24 feet long, so the wind can push it and the current can push it. But what it does do is sets up how you fish. So if you had to cast up current, all right, you'd be able to go downwind, but we're not casting up current. Oh, we got another bite.
Luke's on again. Luke's on, if you guys are listening.
Oh,
Ooh.
something different here.
Whoa.
What do we got? Look at
a
this.
snapper?
This is cool. This is called the blue stripe grunt.
Oh, grunts. Look at that.
So what's neat about this, when I was a kid, grunts and grits, all you could eat, $2.99 in the Keys. Check this guy out. You can hear him grunt, hence why it got its name. And for everybody who wants to know why he's called the blue stripe grunt, check that out. Blue stripes and all. But what's really cool is that big orange mouth.
Look at that.
So yes, it's a panfish. Yes, you can eat it, but today is catch and release on him. Check him out. Blue stripe grunt. Just add to the variety of what you can catch out here. Keeping it simple. Just a shrimp, a hook, a block of chum. You can make it really fun for those who are just dying to get out in the boat.
All right, what about live shrimp versus versus the frozens?
You know, it doesn't really matter in this scenario.
Okay.
We happen to have some live shrimp today. You know, I'm a big fan of the farm-raised frozen shrimp. We were using it all morning, and you can do the same. Cut pieces of squid would work.
Oh, Luke's
Dad,
on
you
fire.
gotta
get back here.
Luke's on
Come
fire.
on
Oh,
now,
look at this,
that.
Jay!
Holy smokes, just a...
This is an aquarium-sized yellowtail
Seriously.
snapper, okay, which is the same snapper you catch on the reef, but if you were out there today, you'd want to be on the Queen Mary. So look at that here. You can guess why it's called the yellowtail. You see this in a lot of the restaurants, obviously much bigger, but it just goes to show you that's another variety.
Oh,
Daddy-O got a bite on
Daddy-O's
too.
on.
Here we go, look
Drag
at this
screaming.
here. Okay,
Oh, it's a beast.
it's a beast. So this is a mutton snapper.
Man,
Okay, a baby mutton snapper, not a lane snapper. This is a true mutton snapper. It has no yellow in it. All right,
that bad boy.
which is really, really cool. Yes, I have really big hands. Okay, so look, this mutton snapper needs to be 18 inches to be kept and harvested, but it just goes to show you that the juvenile fishery around here, things you can catch on the shrimp, in just a moment's time, we've caught 3 different types of snappers. And we haven't even caught the mangrove snapper yet, which will be 4. So the 4 types of snappers that are popular, the grunts, the sharks, the catfish, the blue runners, the jack crevalles, you can make a fun time out of doing something just this simple. And that is what it's about. You were asking earlier about the tide and the wind. You gotta have the current moving in order to take your chum one way or the other. So right now, the tide's into the wind, the last little bit of the rising tide, you can see our chum is actually going up into the wind. So as soon as this tide stops, it's gonna turn around and everything's gonna move in a different direction. And when it starts going downwind and you got this much wind and the current work together, stuff's gonna move much faster. So right now, this is working for us and we're gonna stick with it, so stay tuned and let's see what else we can catch.
All right, Mark, let's talk about the spot, right? That's what we always talk about.
The spot.
Meaning why here? We're basically, it looks like on the edge of kind of like a little channel here, a little cut.
Exactly right.
Flat
So
right
are
over
we
there.
are we anywhere special is what you're leading up to? The answer
Yeah,
is no.
how do you find a good area like this?
So basically the watercolor dictates where we are. You can see how nice and green this is. The emerald green tells you that this water is deep. If you look behind you on the flat where it's brown, that water is very shallow. So anytime you have this much of a transition, okay, you got the nice edge, it drops off from 18 inches deep to 8 feet deep, it's worth to hang a chum block and see if you can find some snappers. Now, not all creeks are created equal, but they all work the same way. On the edge, the transition, put the chum out, let it go, and see if you can get something to bite. But this is no specific area, there's no structure, no wreck. Matt Bellinger is not down here putting fish on my hook. This is just us out here playing around, luck of the draw.
We did see Matt this morning.
We
though,
did
didn't
see Matt this morning.
Looking sharp. Matt, if you're listening, and your little new looking contender.
And just like that, you'll notice that the chum dinger is starting to slide a little more toward the bow, which tells you that the current is already slowing down. So we're gonna have what we call the slack tide, which is the transitional time during tide change. Daddy-O got himself a bite.
It's another yellowtail, come on.
Oh, yellowtail, sling him in
thing
here. You have no idea how lucky you are. You're not big enough for a fish sandwich. Your lucky day. You see him spitting up shrimp? He's down here eating like a king. So imagine you being here with your kids, having a ball, no phones, no electronic devices, out here goofing around, making the best of it. And it is good fun. It sure beats sitting on land, sitting at the pool.
Well, it's interesting. I told you guys, meaning talking to people on the boat, I had a friend who saw the weather and texted me saying, "Hey, you guys fishing today?" Like, ha ha ha. And he's like laughing like there's not a chance in the world we were fishing today. And here we are, Captain Mark Johnson, AKA Hollywood.
Woo!
Tight lines all day.
And that, my friend, is what it's about. You're down here, you only got a certain amount of time to get on the water and fish. And yes, sometimes the weather is not safe to go. Sometimes there's lightning, there's thunder showers, there's named storms. Maybe you stay home when you have to, but just because it's windy and maybe you can't go offshore, and maybe you can't pole around, and you don't want to go all the way to Flamingo where it's really, really been rough and bumpy, you can fish close to home. You can do this in a kayak. You can do it on paddleboard, a canoe, a small skiff, a bay boat, but you can get it out here and you can get it done, and it's all about the fun. Pegging the fun meter.
Let's talk about hook sets. I've seen a couple Bill Dance pullbacks over here.
Got J hooks on now.
Yeah, we're fishing J hooks here, yes. And with the braided line these days and all the new technology, I mean, the bass hook set, I swear, a lot of that's for show. But in here, anytime your line comes tight, close your bail, break your wrist, and you're hooked up.
Pow, pow.
Pow, pow. Drop it on down.
So what about in a place like this? How deep is it where we are right now?
Maybe 8 feet in the middle of the channel and 18 inches on the back side of the boat.
So,
and you could shark fish in here if you had big cut bait. You could, this particular area, you could catch a tarpon in here on cut bait. So if you were looking to do that, I mean, again, you can do all that this close to home.
Yep. And all we've done, you can see Luke's got his normal just G. Loomis.
Yeah, we're fishing light tackle,
got a
little piece of shrimp, split shot, very simple.
Got the Daiwa Fuego, normal trout and redfish rod and reel.
Yep. Just fishing very casual. And like I said, here's a dad and two kids doing it.
You're a casual guy.
Yeah, I'm a casual guy.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
But there's a dad and 2 kids doing it.
Wait a minute, what? Calling us kids?
Yeah.
What in the world?
All right.
Yeah, we had a little bonnet head came right up to us, checking us out earlier. Those are fun.
Yeah, we caught a handful today, this morning, and they were pulling good drag. And then.
And the bonefish. Talk about the bonefish.
Oh, the bonefish. We tried all morning to catch a bonefish. We finally catch the bonefish, and we're looking to put him on the camera and take a good picture, and we're getting all ready to go. And then he spits the hook right at the boat. So it made us all giggle. Some days you're the bug, some days you're the windshield, but that was Daddy-O's first bonefish. Another birthday treat for him. He's rocking it these few days, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, man.
So snook fishing he had yesterday, caught a bonefish today, fishing with his boys, and just out here having a ball, eating good, feeling good, having a ball. That's what it's about.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of mangrove snapper from yesterday. We're going to take it, where we're going again?
Bayside Gourmet,
Bayside.
right at mile marker 83. We did a little Hollywood after hours last time you guys were here, and it was so fantastic that we're actually going to go back there again tonight, and we're going to have them cook our fresh fish that we caught from yesterday.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about the Keys is that most of these restaurants, like they're ready for you. Like the girl who's checking in, she's ready for your Ziploc bag full of fish, and they'll cook it up however the heck you want.
Yeah, it's called a hook and cook, and it's very popular down here. And the days of catching hundreds of pounds of fish and shipping it home and things of years ago are long gone. So in today's fishery and what we do, you catch enough for a meal.
Yep.
Your captains, your guides will fillet it for you, send you off with a little Ziploc full of fillets. You can go to any restaurant, I say just about any restaurant, and you can have fish tacos for lunch. You can make, Daddy-O got a bite.
Oh man, it's tall.
And you can make a nice dinner out of it, enough fresh fish for 1 or 2 meals. That's the best way to go about it. We got a new species here.
Look at this.
No, it's a mutton snapper again.
That's a better size mutton.
Yeah, a little bit bigger. Very aggressive snapper, these guys. And they're getting big enough too. These guys will eat a lionfish, believe it or not. That guy there got the hook in there pretty good. We're gonna have to work on him a little.
Oh, Luke's on now. Come on, baby. Oh man. Thought I broke your line there for a second.
All right, good to go. You're good. Need bait?
But yeah, I think we all voted last night that the blackened fish marks what anniversary? So you had your own dinner.
Woo!
So
yeah.
Kanai and Daddy-O went out for Dad's 70th birthday and went to
Lazy Days.
Lazy Days, yeah, man. We did the Lazy Days, half of it Lazy Days recipe and half blackened.
Yeah, the pictures you guys sent me was fantastic. I was busy wearing a nice shirt and enjoying time with my wife and my boy, and we were up eating some sushi.
Woo.
And funniest thing, I sent you the picture back. Here I was, spent all day in a boat, then I ended in a boat for dinner on the sushi boat. So it made me laugh. My wife doesn't find so much humor in fish talk anymore after all these years. There's
Luke's
another bite.
Come on, Luke, get that
Luke's
thing
on.
in. Oh, it is just peel and drag.
Yep, another blue runner, it looks like. So you guys can
Nice.
see, I mean, we're busy getting a bite just about every little drift here, catching a variety of different things, close to home, simple fishing. Dad's got a couple kids in the boat at any age.
We've seen one boat today.
Yeah, any age kids out here have a ball doing this.
Everyone else is sitting there thinking it's too windy to go fishing, and it would be to go offshore. I would not want to be doing anything else.
Yeah, we saw
right
one guy
here.
pulling the flat earlier with his wind stick out, and they were praying to be done early. And that's part of the game. But yeah, take advantage of them, make the best of it. Get out here, a block of chum, bag of shrimp, and the right attitude, you can have a ball out here.
It's wind stick.
That's it, the fly rod, that's the wind stick.
Yeah, this would be a tough day to go fly fishing. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, without a doubt. It wouldn't be much fun. Those guys weren't having much fun, it didn't look like. And but it happens. I mean, again, you're down here to do it. You pick your days, and those guys, you know, they get A for effort. You got to go out and do it. You don't know if you don't go, and that's actually probably the most important thing is you don't know if you don't go. I get asked all the time, Cap, what about the weather? We always joke there's only two types of weather, whether you go fishing or whether you don't. And today we went, and we're making it work and having a ball, right?
Yep, and Luke gets to go home and tell his girlfriend he caught 4 catfish.
I mean, you stick with what you're good at. That's
Got a
good.
little B-roll of that one too.
There you go. Fish up.
Oh man, that was an aggressive bite there. I want to see you guys bring up another
And we're sitting
shot.
here in the shade on the beautiful Murata 24, which is nice. And the temperature is beautiful with the 25 knots of wind behind us. And sit out here, screw around, and there are way worse places to be. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yep. What size hook?
This is
Mark.
a 2-aught bait saver.
Okay.
This particular hook is made by Mustad. Uh-oh, here comes Daddy-O, needs bait. I got one right here for you. I think your dad just wants to use exercise and likes to run around the boat.
Yep, I don't blame him. Been eating so doggone well here. Come down Island Run to fish with Captain Mark Hollywood Johnson or someone on his team.
Yeah, the team is off today, but the team is back in the game tomorrow. And we'd love to have you. What do you need? Some bait too? Let's get some more.
Luke,
Scoop
you're
here in the well.
plowing through some shrimp. Kind of like me going to the all-you-can-eat Red Lobster. I went back. I still think I might be one of the reasons they stopped doing it.
Look at that nice well in that Murata 24.
Oh, yeah,
A little bit of
baby.
shrimp left in there. A little net by Halfco. Get it all done.
That's a beautiful sight there.
Awesome. Yep.
But I went 100% shrimp scampi in the all-you-can-eat Red Lobster back in the day, and I got 75 before I finally had to call it quits. Yeah, they first started bringing them out 10 at a time, and so 10, 10, 10, and then they start.
Okay.
You know, the back is like, all right, we're starting to lose money on this guy. Let's start doing 5 at a time.
Or they put some really bad hot sauce on it and make you quit eating.
Well, all they had to do was keep putting more shrimp scampi. You know how much butter that was?
That's all right. Then all of a
Man, I
sudden
was
you're
sick to my stomach.
That'll teach you.
75 shrimp scampi.
Yeah, so hey, pan around the whole boat. Let everybody know there is not a boat to be seen out here. Everybody's on land, too windy to go fishing.
No
Yes,
boats.
it's a weekday, but we got it all to ourselves. And you are eyesight from downtown all
You
over.
can see here, we're, hopefully you can see, 4.7 feet deep.
Yep, sitting on the edge of the flat.
Sitting on the edge of the flat, watching the tide.
Fish last night was some of the best I've ever had. It was fantastic.
Oh yeah, you're gonna enjoy it again tonight. Yeah, it's hard to beat fresh mangrove snappers. That's one of our most favorite. All the fish to eat in the Florida Keys, right? There's
Yeah.
no shortage. Fresh mangrove snapper is just fantastic.
Let's talk about the bonefish, and I think that was helpful for us to get this to see that it wasn't some fancy like we're stalking these things on the flats and making perfect cast at them.
You know, that's exactly right. So the term we used earlier, you guys laughed at me. We call it booger fishing or soaking shrimp, and it's a very effective way to catch a bonefish. And it takes a lot of the hard work out of the sight casting or worrying about the weather, being able to see the fish. You just kind of, just like we're doing, it's casual fishing with shrimp in areas that you know you might find a bonefish. It's cloudy, it's windy, you can't see. So you put the baits out, you chum a little bit, and you just kind of get a little hodgepodge of action. We had a couple catfish today, a couple sharks today, and then lo and behold, we catch a bonefish.
And using the same setup right here,
Exactly right. Same live shrimp, same spinning rod, same hook, actually, split shot. This is just changing gears just to get something a little different done today.
Yeah, that was cool. We had that one nice one. We had a couple, I think, potentials.
Yeah, we had Lookout broke off one time, was a good run, and then Daddy-O caught one, was cool. And it's just, again, another way to get it done.
Yep.
So the bone fishing's been improving in the Keys. I know that, when you get north of Miami, no one talks about bonefish. But here in the Keys, bone fishing's a big deal. It was a staple fish here all through the 60s, 70s, 80s, and we somehow lost the majority of them here in the 90s, and we're starting now for the first time to see signs of them coming back. The smaller recruitment stock, they're called. One of my captains has a lot of science for the BTT, and I mean the amount of private money that's put out there to study the bonefish, because they are a huge economic factor in what we do. It's amazing, and the things that we're learning between tagging fish, being able to do studies in other places, netting in Cuba is a big deal, netting in Mexico, fish in the Bahamas, places that, years ago you didn't even know bonefish were there. Well, when the internet came along and technology and communication, well, now there's a whole worldwide connection for a bonefish. And that's pretty impressive. And it's really speeding up how science is affecting what we know about the bone fishery, and it's awesome. When I was a kid in town, an 8-pound bonefish was a small fish. We never saw little ones. We didn't know any different. Now, I'm as old as dirt, so now we learn about little bonefish, and you're like, wow, I had no idea. But like any fish, before you have a big one, you have to have a small one, right?
It makes sense. Yes, go on.
So it's a fishery that a lot of us are really happy for it to come back. We're not far from the whole Shell Key downtown area where just about every bonefish world record was caught and released, and Alamorada was known for that, and that kind of lost its way in the 90s, and we'll see if it makes its way back.
What's the record, 15 pounds?
Yeah, so there's a handful. Records are based on what line class, but down here, anything from 13 and a half up to, I believe, 16 pounds on 5 or 6 different line classes, fly and bait, have all been captured and logged by the IGFA all downtown Alamorada.
Luke's sitting there shaking the chum dinger.
Shaggy. Yeah, the chum dinger, that's a great tool. When we first saw it, we weren't sure what to make of it. And then when you learn about it and realize that it's pretty indestructible.
Oh, there we go. Oh, man.
And you don't have to clean it versus the chum bag every day.
Did that feel better, Luke, or was it more?
That was probably a snapper.
Little snapper.
Not having to clean it was an awesome trait, and not having it twist all behind the boat and hanging there dirty all the time. And it's pretty indestructible. It's never going to tear, break apart. So when you look at how many chum bags we go through in a year fishing in the charter business, initial cost is more than a chum bag, but at the end of the year, 2 years, 3 years, you're ahead of the game.
Let's go back to the bonefish. Do you ever, does it help at all to chum? I know, like meaning with a chum block, or you just threw some shrimps out?
The bonefish is not a fish that reacts to the menhaden chum that we use for snappers and stuff.
Yeah.
So when you chum for bonefish, they're very specific shrimp, crab kind of eater. And so like we did today, dice up a few shrimp. If you had a bunch of little blue crabs, you can pulverize a crab, crush it with your pliers or whatnot, and you can use the crab scent and the shrimp. That's your most effective way to chum for a bonefish.
So we were up on the flat. Oh, there's one up. Oh,
What do you see?
It's just that houndfish over there.
There you go, Larry.
Going
Point
to
that rod
town
right
on
here to
the
me.
flat.
Just point the tip underneath. Wind it. There you go. Wind it up. You got all this line out. Let's get off this rope here. There you go.
Yes, if you guys are listening, we are sitting here, what I would describe as like a little 8-foot channel in between two little flats. You could cast across it. It's so thin.
There you go. Just let that slide on out there.
And we got the power pole down.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the power pole. It's one of the best tools
Chum
we
block
use.
out.
Yep. Chum dinger, chum block, live shrimp.
And tons of little fish. But tight lines are tight lines, especially on a day like this. See that little thing out there?
What are you looking at?
Background. I think it's one of those.
Oh, I see her.
houndfish.
Oh, look at that little school of fish come. All blue runners again or something?
Yeah, this is hopefully a very helpful one for a lot of you. I know, especially when you're on vacation in a new spot, or even just have friends in town in your hometown, and all of a sudden you look at your weather app, or you go to smartfishingtides.com, and it says 25-mile-an-hour winds. Ugh. Which is what we said this morning. But at least it feels cool out.
Yes,
cold
it's our
front.
first cold front of the season.
Man,
We haven't even hit October 1st yet.
it was warm the last time we were down here. We made a run over to Flamingo. I don't know if you guys can see the little bait fish tearing up it. I'm getting out of the sun because the camera was saying overheating, Mr. Simon. What you got, Luke? Luke got the bottom?
That's something, actually.
Oh, that's pulling back. That might be a big nurse shark. You might be on. Yeah, you got.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Let's see if you can do it. Here he goes to the gunnel, the little shrimp.
Or could it be a stingray?
Uh-oh.
He gets a stingray or a big nurse shark?
Yep.
Look at the mud boil, I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
stingray.
man.
Stingray or big nurse shark. And there goes your brother right on the
look.
gunnel.
Dad's on too.
Dad's on too. Double header.
Action is picking up here, but Dad's is not going to spool
Luke's
him.
going to get
Or maybe it
spooled.
will. You guys both run into some sharks?
Here, you want to go to the corner there and play with your creature? Your dad drag's going out.
What
How
do you
can
got,
that be?
Daddy-o? What is it?
You
got your,
what do you got there? Mutton
drag
Snapper,
set,
blue runner. Let's look and see. Looks like a blue runner. Got silver to him. Oh, there you go. You got yourself a stingray. He's going up on the flat. Look at him
I'm
go.
going back here for a little.
Ate your shrimp.
All right,
Here
Luke,
you
we
go.
gotta land them. Gotta land them. It's a nice size ray there, Luke. You gotta be real proud. So what did I get here?
Blue runner.
Blue runner.
Yep.
All right, this could be the thumbnail pic of the podcast. Luke catching a stingray. He's got grass all over his line.
It's pull and drag.
Yep. Should have known, the catfish king.
Imagine
Says,
being
"You
10
know
years
what?
old, fishing with your dad and getting that on your line. You know, that thing is pull and drag. You got yourself a sea creature. You know, when I was a kid fishing out here, a little happy to catch everything. And there was a time where you'd get that stingray, you'd drag it home, and Dad would make scallops out of that thing. I did mention I was old as dirt, right? So stingrays is a good creature to catch. We catch them shark fishing, tarpon fishing sometimes. They pull drag. We call them the Alamorada halibut. They,
It's a shark,
you can
Luke?
see them kicking this mud up out here.
Yeah, it's a ray. All right,
It's
we
a
got
ray.
1 minute left on. Dad's back on again, doggone. We got 1 minute left on this chip. We're gonna close it up here. You wanna see exactly what Luke caught, go to saltshore.com. We'll put some pictures in the blog post in the show notes.
The
And
blue
talk a
runners
little
are
bit more
chewing.
If we go to a new spot, show you how that worked for us. So otherwise, Luke's gonna be busy for a little bit. We out of here, Captain Mark Hollywood Johnson.
Yes,
Florida
sir.
Keys
Come
fun
see us
fishing.
in the Florida Keys, windy or not.
Yep. Otherwise, go to saltshore.com. Check out the show notes and join us in the Insider Club. We out. Peace.
We out.
There's something about the water that'll give you peace. All by yourself or with your family. Live salt strong and wear the line today.